Rain lashed Seattle's streets as Ryan poured coffee, his heart heavy with routine. At 28, he was used to the grind, serving espresso, dodging nosy questions about his love life from coworkers. Then Caleb, a 35-year-old paramedic, stepped up to the counter, his quick smile cutting through the gray. Their banter over coffee orders sparked something electric, a jolt Ryan hadn't felt in years. By Caleb's third visit, he lingered, asking Ryan to meet him after closing. That night, under flickering streetlights, they shared a kiss, a fleeting act of defiance against a world that demanded they hide. But Caleb's whispered words, "My family can't know," planted a seed of tension. The next week, Ryan's shifts blurred into a rhythm of stolen glances and late-night talks. Caleb would slip into the coffee shop just before closing, his paramedic uniform still creased from a long shift. They'd walk along Puget Sound, the city's hum fading as they shared stories. Ryan spoke of coming out at 20, the freedom he'd fought for after years of silence. Caleb listened, his eyes distant, admitting he'd never told anyone he was gay. "My parents, they're old school. They'd never understand," he said, his voice tight. Ryan nodded, swallowing his urge to push. He wanted Caleb to feel safe, to believe their connection could outshine fear. Their moments together grew bolder, but stayed hidden. A quick hand squeeze under the table at a diner, a shared laugh in Caleb's parked car. These were their rebellion. Ryan felt alive, each encounter fueling a hope he hadn't dared to hold before. But Caleb's hesitation lingered. One night, as they sat on a bench overlooking the water, Ryan reached for his hand. Caleb pulled back, glancing around. "Not here," he muttered. "Someone might see." Ryan's chest tightened, but he forced a smile. "We're careful. It's just us." Caleb's nod was reluctant, his eyes shadowed with doubt. The tension spiked a week later. Caleb canceled a planned meetup, texting about a family dinner he couldn't skip. Ryan waited at their usual spot by the pier, the cold seeping into his bones as hours passed. When Caleb finally called, his voice was strained. "My brother was asking questions. He saw me texting you. I can't risk this getting out." Ryan's stomach dropped. "So what, we just hide forever?" he asked, his tone sharper than intended. Caleb went silent, then said, "I don't know what else to do." The call ended, leaving Ryan staring at the dark water, the weight of Caleb's fear pressing against his own resolve. Days later, Caleb showed up at the coffee shop, his expression heavy with guilt. "I'm sorry," he said, sliding into a booth. "I panicked. I want this. Us. But it's not easy." Ryan leaned across the counter, keeping his voice low. "I get it. But I'm not ashamed of who I am. I don't want to be your secret." Caleb's hand twitched, as if to reach out, but stopped. "Give me time," he pleaded. Ryan nodded, but the spark that had once felt electric now flickered with uncertainty. The world's judgment loomed, and Ryan wondered if their love could survive it. Ryan's days became a tightrope walk between hope and frustration. After Caleb's plea for time, their relationship deepened in stolen moments, late-night drives, hushed conversations, and empty parking lots. Each encounter felt like a victory against the world's prying eyes. But Caleb's caution cast a shadow. He'd check his phone constantly, worried about his family's suspicions. Ryan, who'd fought to live openly, felt the strain of hiding. "I want to meet your friends, your world," he said one night, parked by a quiet stretch of beach. Caleb's grip on the steering wheel tightened. "You don't get it, Ryan. My family's not like yours. They'd cut me off." The tension grew as weeks passed. Caleb's paramedic shifts left little time for them, and when they did meet, he was jumpy, scanning for familiar faces. One evening, they grabbed takeout and ate in Caleb's car, the windows fogged from the chill outside. Ryan tried to lighten the mood, joking about a bad coffee order at work. Caleb forced a laugh, but his eyes darted to his phone. A text from his brother, Ethan, lit up the screen. "Who are you always sneaking off to?" Caleb's jaw clenched as he typed a vague reply. Ryan's patience frayed. "You can't keep living like this," he said. "What's the point if we're always hiding?" Caleb's silence stung, his hesitation louder than words. Their next meeting was a rare night off for Caleb. They walked along a secluded trail, the city's lights distant. Ryan reached for Caleb's hand, but Caleb pulled away, muttering about hikers nearby. Ryan stopped walking, his voice sharp. "Do you even want this? Or am I just a secret you're ashamed of?" Caleb's shoulders slumped. "It's not shame. It's fear. You don't know what it's like to lose everything." Ryan softened, hearing the pain in Caleb's voice, but the gap between them felt wider than ever. "I'm trying to understand," Ryan said, "but I can't keep pretending this is enough." The breaking point loomed when Caleb invited Ryan to a diner far from his neighborhood, a place where no one would know them. They sat in a corner booth, their knees brushing under the table. For a moment it felt normal, two people sharing a meal, laughing over small things. But as they left, Caleb's brother Ethan appeared outside, his eyes narrowing. "Caleb, what's this?" he demanded, glancing at Ryan. Caleb froze, stammering, "Just a friend." Ethan's scoff cut deep. "Don't lie to me." He stormed off, leaving Ryan reeling. In the car, Caleb's voice was barely a whisper. "He'll tell our parents. This could ruin everything." Ryan's heart sank. "What about us? Does that mean nothing?" Caleb didn't answer, and the silence between them grew heavy, a prelude to the storm about to break. The air felt heavier after Ethan's confrontation. Ryan walked back to his apartment alone, the sting of Caleb's words. "Just a friend," echoing in his mind. He'd poured his heart into their relationship, but Caleb's fear had reduced him to a secret. That night his phone buzzed with a text from Caleb. "We're done. My family can't handle this." The words hit like a punch, leaving Ryan staring at the screen, his chest tight with disbelief. He typed a reply, then deleted it, the silence louder than any argument. Sleep didn't come. Instead, he replayed every moment, wondering if he'd pushed too hard, if he'd been naive to think love could conquer Caleb's fear. The next day, Ryan dragged himself to the coffee shop, his movements mechanical. Customers' chatter felt distant, their orders blurring together. A coworker noticed his distraction and asked if he was okay. Ryan forced a nod, but inside, he was unraveling. Caleb's choice to prioritize his family's approval over their bond left Ryan questioning his own worth. Had he been a fool to believe they could build something real? The weight of rejection pressed down, amplified by the world's unspoken judgment of who he was. Caleb, meanwhile, faced his own turmoil. Ethan had wasted no time telling their parents about the diner encounter. At a tense family dinner, his father's voice was cold. "You're throwing away everything we stand for." His mother, silent, but tearful, wouldn't meet his eyes. They demanded he cut ties with Ryan, threatening to disown him if he didn't comply. Caleb's heart raced as he nodded, the words catching in his throat. But as he left the house, the cost of his compliance sank in. He'd betrayed Ryan and himself, choosing a hollow approval over the one person who'd made him feel alive. Ryan sought refuge in routine, but the pain lingered. One evening, a regular customer mentioned a local LGBTQ support group, suggesting it might help. Desperate for a lifeline, Ryan attended a meeting. The room buzzed with stories of struggle and resilience, people who'd faced rejection, yet found strength. A man named Javier shared how he'd lost his family but gained a chosen one. Ryan listened, tears welling, realizing he wasn't alone. He spoke briefly, his voice shaky, about Caleb's betrayal. The group's empathy steadied him, planting a seed of resolve to reclaim his sense of self. Caleb, haunted by his decision, scrolled through Ryan's old texts, each one a reminder of what he'd thrown away. His family's approval felt like a cage, their love conditional on his silence. One night, unable to sleep, he searched online for support and found the same group Ryan had joined. Driven by guilt and a flicker of hope, Caleb decided to attend, unsure if he'd find forgiveness, or if he even deserved it. The tension between his fear and his longing for Ryan was tearing him apart, setting the stage for a reckoning. Ryan's world felt fractured, but the LGBTQ support group became his anchor. Each meeting chipped away at the self-doubt Caleb's betrayal had left behind. He listened to stories of rejection and triumph, finding strength in shared resilience. One evening, a woman named Mia spoke about rebuilding after her partner left under family pressure. "You don't stop being you because someone else can't handle it," she said. Ryan nodded, her words igniting a spark. He began speaking more, sharing his pain over Caleb's choice to hide. The group's support, nods, quiet affirmations, helped him see his worth wasn't tied to Caleb's fear. He started volunteering at the group's events, organizing coffee meetups for new members. Helping others grounded him, each step a defiance against the shame he'd internalized. Caleb, meanwhile, was drowning in regret. His family's approval came at a steep cost. Every dinner with them felt like a performance, their questions about his new direction laced with expectation. He'd silenced his truth to keep their love, but it left him hollow. Late at night, he'd reread Ryan's messages, the warmth of their past a stark contrast to his empty present. A co-worker, noticing his distraction during a paramedic shift, mentioned a support group he'd heard about. Desperate for clarity, Caleb attended a meeting, his heart pounding as he stepped into the unfamiliar space. When he saw Ryan across the room, speaking confidently to a newcomer, Caleb froze. Ryan's strength, his ease with the group, highlighted everything Caleb had lost by choosing fear. Ryan spotted Caleb, but kept his distance, his pulse racing with a mix of anger and longing. During the meeting, Caleb shared his story, his voice unsteady. "I pushed away someone I cared about because I was scared. I don't know how to fix it." The room listened. No judgment, but Ryan's chest tightened. After the meeting, he approached Caleb outside, his tone guarded. "Why are you here?" Caleb's eyes met his, raw with guilt. "I messed up, Ryan. I'm trying to figure out who I am without hiding." Ryan wanted to lash out, but the vulnerability in Caleb's voice stopped him. "You hurt me," Ryan said. "You chose them over us." Caleb nodded, his voice breaking. "I know. I'm sorry." Over the next weeks, Ryan focused on himself, finding purpose in the group's community. He led a workshop on self-acceptance, his confidence growing. Caleb kept attending meetings, listening more than speaking, grappling with his identity. One night he stayed late to help clean up, and Ryan, against his better judgment, joined him. They worked in silence, the air heavy with unspoken words. Finally, Caleb spoke. "I'm not asking for forgiveness yet, but I want to be better, for me, and maybe for us." Ryan didn't respond, but the words lingered, stirring a flicker of hope. The fight for their identities was far from over, but both were starting to see a path forward, one that might converge again. Ryan stood behind the coffee shop counter, the rhythm of pouring espresso now a comfort rather than a chore. The support group had given him strength, but Caleb's reappearance stirred a restless hope. He kept his distance, focusing on his new role leading workshops, helping others navigate their struggles. Yet Caleb's quiet presence at meetings, his tentative steps toward openness, lingered in Ryan's thoughts. He wasn't ready to trust again, but he couldn't deny the pull. Caleb, meanwhile, faced his own reckoning. His family's conditional love weighed heavier each day. At a tense dinner, his father pressed him about moving on from his phase. Caleb's patience snapped. "This isn't a phase," he said, voice steady. "I'm gay, and I'm done pretending for you." His mother's silence and Ethan's glare followed him out the door. The rejection stung, but it freed him. For the first time, Caleb felt the weight of hiding lift, replaced by a resolve to live authentically. Determined to make amends, Caleb sought Ryan out at the coffee shop on a quiet afternoon. Ryan tensed as Caleb approached, his hands gripping the counter. "Can we talk?" Caleb asked. Ryan hesitated, then nodded, leading him to a corner table. Caleb spoke first, his words raw. "I was wrong to choose fear over you. I told my family the truth, and they didn't take it well, but I'd rather lose them than lose myself, or you." Ryan's throat tightened. "You broke me, Caleb. How do I trust you now?" Caleb leaned forward, earnest. "You don't have to yet, but I'm here, and I'm not hiding anymore." Ryan took time to process, wrestling with hurt and hope. He leaned on the support group, sharing his doubts. Javier, a mentor from the group, urged him to listen to his heart, but set boundaries. Over weeks, Caleb proved his change through actions, attending Pride events, volunteering with Ryan, standing openly as himself. One evening after a group outing, they walked along Puget Sound, the same path where their story began. Caleb stopped, his voice soft. "I love you, Ryan. I'll keep showing you I mean it." Ryan's eyes searched his, seeing sincerity where fear once stood. "I'm not ready to jump back in," Ryan said, "but I want to try." Their rebuilding was slow, deliberate. They shared coffee dates, open and unhurried, no longer checking over their shoulders. At a summer Pride event, surrounded by the group's cheers, Ryan took Caleb's hand, the gesture natural, unhidden. The crowd's energy wrapped around them, a reminder of the community that had carried them through. Caleb squeezed his hand, a silent vow to keep fighting for their love. They weren't perfect, but they were free, together, against the odds, proving that authenticity could conquer fear. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell. More stories are coming that will move you, inspire you, and challenge the way you see your own journey. Every story matters, and each one brings us closer to who we are meant to become.